The Boston Celtics traded Anfernee Simmons and a second round pick to the Chicago Bulls for Nikola Vucevic and a second round pick. I thought this trade was actually a good trade for Boston, even though it was a cap cutting move that they made, because I believe Nikola Vucevic can help them in the future. That's if they decide to keep him. But I wonder if they're going to keep it after the season because I've looked at his contract. He's a free agent. So I'll say this could be a good move if they're able to keep Vucevic beyond the season because next year Jason Tatum will be back from that injury. And if you're able to bring in Vucevic with that team, that definitely gives them a high chance of contending for the title and coming out of the East next season. Not this season. I don't believe Tatum is going to come back. I don't believe in those rumors that he's going to come back. But Vucevic definitely helps when it comes to giving them some size that they've lost the last year or so, with now losing Al Horford, losing Luke Cornett, losing Porzingis, that they need some size. They have the one big man by the name of Cueta, who's been very solid this year. He's been a good rim protector, a lob threat. But Vucevic gives them a guy who's been a double-double machine throughout his career. Let me just look at what he's averaging this season. I think he's averaging like 16 and 10. I just want to pull it up. Just give me a second or two. Let's see what he's averaging. This year, Vucevic is averaging 16.9 points per game, 9 rebounds, 50% overall from the field, 37% from three. He's also averaging 3.8 assists. I think he's definitely a guy you can easily plug into the Boston Celtics system, especially when they have Tatum back, that I think he'll know how to gel with those guys. If they decide to keep him, he could have a huge impact on them long term beyond the season. He's not that old at the age of 35. He is going to turn 36 come this fall in October. But I would say he has a good 2 or 3 years left, I think, of being a very effective player. So another reason why, if you're Boston, you should try to keep him on a short contract. If you re-sign him, I would just do 2 years. But I don't know if they will, because the big reason why they did this trade was to avoid the luxury tax and also avoid the repeater tax, because I think they've been above the luxury tax more than like 2 years in a row, if I'm not mistaken. So that puts you in that bad position. This move was definitely cleared up to do that. So we'll have to see going forward what they're going to do with Vucevic, if they're going to keep him beyond the season. If they are able to keep him beyond the season, this will be a good move. If they don't keep him beyond the season, it's hard to say if this is a good move. Maybe if they can free up cap space and they can bring in a really good player, then it could be a good move. So that remains to be seen, I would say. Simmons is a very solid player. He's averaging 14 points per game this year, 44% shooting overall, but 39% from three. Throughout his career, he's always been a good three-point shooter at 38%. So he definitely helped space the floor out for the Chicago Bulls. But now that the Bulls don't have Vucevic, they do have a size problem from what I can see here. I know Zach Collins is also injured, so they're very thin at the center spot. So I don't know what they're doing going forward. What's their plans? Let me just pull up their roster. Let's see. Yeah, look at their roster. They don't really have any good big men left. Zach Collins tends to be injury prone. So now they're an undersized team, which could be an issue going forward when you look at what they have. They're going to have to rely heavily on Zach Collins for the rest of the season. And I know the Bulls want to get into the playoffs. Zach Collins is just like an okay player. I remember when he played for the Spurs. The center spot is going to definitely be a huge void for the Bulls, something that they're going to have to fix going forward in the future. Anfernee Simmons is a solid pickup. I'll give them that. I don't know how many years he has left on his contract. Let me check that out. I'm gonna pull that up. Okay, this is also seems like a cap move by the Chicago Bulls. Anfernee Simmons' contract expires after this year. So this trade could really be a wash for both teams, really, when you look at it. Another kind of quick fix move, I guess, for both squads, but not a trade that you could really get any utility out of it, like long term, if you don't keep the pieces, or maybe this is a cap move that helps them to get free agents in the future or do a trade. I guess the biggest thing in this trade is really the second round picks. If one of these teams gets a star out of the second round pick, but that's very rare. It only happens like once in a while. So, God, these trades are just really strange when you look at them. All I can see from this move right now is like short term cap cutting moves by both teams. But I don't have anything else to say about this move. That's about it.